Milo TV, bada boom, bada bam, bada zoom.
Yeah.
Milo TV, bada bim, bada bam, bada bam.
Yeah.
Bada zoom, zoom, zoom.
Milo TV, bada boom. Wait, hold on, go again. Milo TV, bada bim, bada boom, bada bam. Yeah. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a comment in the comment section, click that notification bell, and guys, Milo TV is where it's at, so don't forget. I don't know.
Milo TV, varabim, varabum, varabim.
Yeah.
Milo TV, body boom, body bim, body bam. Yeah.
Yeah.
Milo TV, bada bim, bada boom, bada bam.
Yeah. Yeah. It's here too.
Okay.
Milo TV, bada bing, bada boom, bada bim. That's it.
Milo TV, Milo TV, Milo TV, Milo boom.
Milo TV GH Toronto, Canada. Body bin, body wung, body bem. Ear.
Okay, people, this is Milo TV. Subscribe if today is your first time watching. Like my videos, comment, and then share. My name is Prince Kojiteria. We are privileged to have Mr. Jacob, who happens to be a Canadian regulated immigration consultant. He is here to throw more light on the issues of immigration with regards to those who just came to Canada, who wanted to stay in Canada. Now, if you are in Canada and you have a problem back home, if you have any fear of persecution and you want to seek asylum, this is the right place to go. I am not immigration lawyer, I'm not immigration consultant, but Mr. Jacob, he is a regulated Canadian immigration consultant. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Mr. Jacob. Mr. Jacob, you are welcome.
Thank you.
How are you?
I'm pretty good.
Nice. It's been a while. I think we have our last interview was a couple of months ago, like
Absolutely.
2 months. Yeah. So nice seeing you again.
Sorry, it's a
And
pleasure.
welcome back to Milo TV.
Thank you.
All right. So, Mr. Jacob, I just want you to tell us something. I've been hearing changes. They've been saying a lot of things. People are saying they want to send international students back home. They don't want people to come to Canada. People who are seeking asylum have to go back home. Mass deportation. Mark Miller, who happens to be the immigration minister, came and he talked about what they've planned. The Libra as a party in a whole, or as a whole. And I just want you to tell us something today so people could also have peace of mind. Our fellow brothers and sisters from Ghana doesn't have peace of mind, all because they've been seeing some videos on social media with regards to mass deportation. This time not in US but in Canada. Mr. Jacob, why mass deportation?
Well, first of all, thank you very much for having me on your channel again.
You're welcome.
My name is Yakub Bayat. I'm a regulated Canadian immigration consultant. Regarding the current situation, there's a lot of talk on social media. People are assuming a lot of things.
Okay.
Some of it may be true, but I'll try to highlight some important facts.
Sure.
So that people who are already here, or people even those who wish to come here, may be able to make better decisions if they have the facts.
Okay.
So all this talk on social media, especially regarding mass deportations, regarding not allowing students to come in, those who are here to send them back, sending back and cancelling refugee claims, these are by and large speculation.
Okay.
Not based on fact at all.
It is speculations.
Speculation only.
Okay.
Immigration is a set of written rules. there are two major rules that govern immigration. One is called the Immigration Act, and the other is the Immigration Regulations.
Okay.
These two set of rules, it's like two book of rules, they govern almost the entire immigration system. Refugee claims are actually based on something that is outside of these two books, which is the United Nations law on what is a conventional refugee.
Okay.
And Canada is a signatory of this convention.
Okay.
In fact, almost the entire world, there may be a couple of exceptions, are signatories to it, and they have to stand by those regulations.
Okay.
Canada cannot unilaterally cancel those rules that govern what is a conventional refugee. And when a person lands in Canada,
Okay.
if a person, even at the border, if they are stopped, if they vocalize, if they tell the CBSA immigration officer at the border, whether it's an air border, land border, sea border, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
If they tell them that I have danger where I live, my life is in danger, I want to claim refugee status in Canada, they are, by law, they are entitled to a hearing. It doesn't mean they automatically get refugee status, but they are automatically, by law, entitled to a hearing.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Which means they cannot be sent back. As long as they vocalize and tell the agent, the officer, that I want to claim refugee status, he has to accommodate them, he has to make them sit down, take their details, and then unless they are a very serious risk to Canada, in other words, if the person was a very well-known criminal, or he shows clear signs of being a danger to Canada, unless that's the case, they have to let them go free.
Okay. Okay.
They can only detain them when they have reason to believe that they are a danger to Canada.
Okay.
So, when you come to Canada, and if you in your heart believe that you have a problem, that you have been persecuted back home, your life may be in danger, whatever the reason may be, you are entitled to ask them for protection, and they supposed to, because they are a signatory of that convention, of the United Nations Convention on Refugees, they have to accord you the right to have a hearing. Now, regarding those who are already here, there is no deportation order that has been placed. There is no deportation order that can actually be enacted on a refugee claimant. Once you claim refugee status, the only time you can be deported is when you abandon your refugee claim. If your refugee claim has already been filed, if you abandon it, then you actually open yourself to deportation, because when you do claim refugee status, they ask you to sign a piece of paper, and they explain it to you that the day you abandon your claim, you will activate a deportation order. The deportation order is there, but it is silent, if you know what I mean. It is not enacted. It is not acted upon. So the one way you can get deported is if you yourself say, okay, I give up my claim. I don't want to be, going through this process anymore. I'm tired. They have the option now to deport you. The other way you can get deported is if you've been through your claim and they have found that no, you are not a refugee. Then they are entitled now, after the decision has been made, to deport you. But before they deport you, you are actually entitled to a hearing where you can appeal. And if the appeal fails, they are entitled to deport you, but they accord you another process, which is a preliminary risk assessment before removal.
Wow. So, so as far as you seek asylum, let's say you have grounds, more or less.
Yes.
Yeah.
When you have grounds, whatever you tell them, as long as you are able to tell them that your life is in danger, they have to give you the option of a hearing.
Okay, so let's go back. If they say you are, they've dismissed your case, go back home, I've appealed.
Right, you
Okay,
appeal.
the appeal did not work.
They say go back home.
They say go back home.
You have a third option. It's
Another
called
option.
the PRRA.
PRA.
Pre-removal. Before they remove you. Pre-removal.
Okay.
Risk assessment. They assess the risk. Now, if I send this guy, Jacobo, back to Ghana,
Okay.
what's going to happen to him? So as long as your lawyer can show them
Okay.
that no, if you send him back, it's going to be very dangerous, they still leave you in Canada.
Okay. So it's like you have three options.
That's right. Three chances.
Three chances, sorry. Yeah,
That's right.
to
Obviously, for each time these things happen, your lawyer is going to say, look, now we have more work to do, and he may ask you for more funds.
okay.
So he's doing work, so he will be entitled to some.
Oh, you mean like every stage a lawyer would
separate.
demand
He
something?
will, because it's
Okay.
separate.
It's separate. Okay.
Yes, the first one you pay him for, hopefully you pass.
Okay.
If you don't, now your case may be complicated, he has to do more work, so he may charge you extra funds, and that's something you should always discuss with your lawyer.
Alright, so this is Milo TV. Subscribe if today is your first time, like, comment, and then share. We are privileged to have Mr. Jacob, who happens to be a regulated Canadian immigration consultant. He is here to tell us whatever question I ask. Do you have any question to ask? Kindly go straight to the comment section and then ask. However, if you need an immigration consultant to help you win your case, he is right here, and I'll grab his phone number so you can get in touch with him, so you guys could go from there. Mr. Jacob, we've been hearing a lot that there were some Indian international students who came to Canada with fake something. Your friend is Simple Francis.
The English exams being fake and
No, they came to Canada with like something. Is it DLI or something?
Fake letters of acceptance from
Yeah. We've been hearing that.
Right.
So if someone come to Canada with this and you want to seek asylum, is he allowed?
So asylum is based on somebody whose life is in danger.
Okay.
So when a person, any individual, his life is in danger, if my life was in danger and I was in India or in Ghana, I will do anything to escape.
Okay.
I might even use somebody else's document if I don't have a travel document, because my life is in danger.
Yeah.
So people do a lot of things to save their life.
Okay.
The guy his only option may be to come as a student, although he's not wishing to be a student.
Okay.
He is taking any option available to him to escape. When he comes to Canada, finally, he decides to claim asylum. When the authorities find out that he used a false travel document, maybe somebody else's passport, maybe he stole it, maybe he used a false DLI document, which is when you apply to a college, you get a letter of acceptance.
Sure.
He may have used a falsified one,
Okay.
a counterfeit one.
Sure.
He did all this because his life was in danger.
Yeah.
What he needs to do then is he needs to tell his lawyer, and his lawyer will then have the opportunity to explain to the judge
Okay.
that he was in a desperate situation. He had the choice of either being killed or stealing this document or making a false document and escaping.
Okay.
The judges here, they know the law, they know your situation back home, and they will make a decision. The decisions very, very much take into account your life being in danger.
Okay.
So it's not like if you did that, and if your life was truly in danger, that they would kick you out because you did that.
Okay.
If they realize you did that to save your life, they definitely take that into account.
All right, Mr. Jacob, I have a question for you. Please.
Yes.
Please and please.
Yes.
You know, since you came on my YouTube channel,
Right.
people are calling from Ghana, from US, Equatorial Guinea,
Europe,
everywhere people are calling you.
yes.
Differentiate this for me. What is the difference between a regulated Canadian immigration lawyer or regulated Canadian immigration consultant and a normal, excuse me for using the word normal legal aid lawyer? What is the difference?
Okay.
Sure.
So, this is a very good question.
Yes.
We have basically a lawyer.
Okay.
Everybody knows a lawyer. When you go to a law office, you could go to a law office and a lawyer could, if he wants,
Okay.
when you buy a house, he could do the paperwork for you.
Sure.
The same lawyer, if you have an accident driving your car, he could represent you in the court in case somebody files a lawsuit against you. The same lawyer, if you commit a crime, he could represent you in court. The same lawyer, if you were getting divorced, you could go to him and he could do your divorce for you. A lawyer can do a myriad, many different things for you because he's trained to do all those things and he's licensed to do all those things.
Okay.
Now, the thing to keep in mind is that, and everybody knows this, every individual likes to do some things and doesn't like to do some things.
Okay.
Even if you're a mechanic, you may like to work only on Toyotas and not on a Chrysler because you love Toyotas. Lawyers are the same. Some of them love to do real estate. They only do real estate.
Okay.
Some specialize in divorce.
Okay.
It is difficult to be a master of everything. So along the way, lawyers tend to specialize in certain things.
Okay.
Okay. An immigration consultant is completely different.
Okay.
He doesn't study the entirety of law.
Okay.
He only studies immigration law. He only does immigration law.
Okay.
He's not allowed, he doesn't have the license, nor does he have the capacity to do criminal law,
Okay.
to do a house closing if you bought a house, to represent you when you have an accident, to do divorce when you're getting divorced. He doesn't have that knowledge and he doesn't handle that. So he's a specialist from the day one. He only does immigration law.
Okay.
That's the first part, about what they can do and what they're allowed to do. The second part, legal aid. Legal aid is money which the government gives to a lawyer.
Okay.
When a refugee claimant goes to the lawyer and says, or to the legal aid department and says, I don't have any money, I need a lawyer, can you help me? So they refer you to a lawyer who is accepting legal aid.
Okay.
Lawyers are allowed to accept legal aid
Okay.
and they will represent you. Immigration consultant, on the other hand, does not get legal aid funding.
Okay.
The association, the school, the government body that governs immigration consultants has not been able to get the government to agree to pay the immigration consultant from that legal aid funding.
Okay.
So when you choose a regulated immigration consultant like myself, you as a refugee claimant will have to pay me from your own pocket.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
So why would you choose me and pay me from your pocket? Why wouldn't you go to a lawyer and get it done for free?
For free. Okay.
This is a question that everybody is asking. So this is a sensitive topic, so I'm going to tread very carefully and very lightly, and I'm going to tell you that thousands of people still go to immigration consultants and not to the lawyer.
Why?
There must be a reason. Okay? So I'm going to tell you only factual things. To date, in my practice, I have met many refugee claimants who had gone to the lawyer, and then after the fact, they came to me and now they're paying me money to take the case forward, even though they started the case with the lawyer who took legal aid. So I asked them why, because even I didn't know why.
Okay.
If I tell you what the answers have been, it may shock you and your viewers. All those I've spoken to date have not been able to get to sit down with the lawyer and talk to the lawyer.
Okay.
The lawyer has taken their cases and has not spoken to them. There may be cases that I don't know of, absolutely, where the lawyer has spoken to the
I've been hearing all this. Milo, I've been calling my legal aid lawyer. He doesn't pick my calls.
right.
Even when I send him or her a text message, it takes like 2-3 days before he replies my messages. I don't know what to do. So
That's right.
I'm like, we have a commercial lawyer and a government, approved legal aid lawyer. So if you should go to the commercial lawyer, pretty much I think you can go walk straight to his or her office, knock, enter, have a seat, sit down, tell him something. But should you go legal aid? Well, I don't know much about that.
So there's something which I'm sure all your viewers will understand.
Okay.
All of us, including myself,
Okay.
our lives are complicated. We have problems. We need them fixed. To be able to fix these problems, we need to sit down. If I want you to help me to fix your problem, I have to explain my problem to you.
Sure.
Otherwise, you can't help me. Now, if you don't give me the time to sit with you and explain all my issues, how are you going to help me?
Yeah, it is true.
So, if you look back, if there were any of your viewers watching this this particular episode, they should comment if they ever came to meet me, how much time I give them to explain the situation to me. I believe that if I listen to them and listen carefully, I will be able to assist them very, very much more than somebody who doesn't listen to them.
Okay.
This is very important because you only have one shot at your refugee claim on the first hearing. If you fail the first hearing, everything changes, and I will explain why. The very first hearing you have, if you got a chance to sit with your lawyer, somebody like me, an immigration consultant, I will give you hours, actually hours, to sit with you, listen to your story, get it straight, get it right, and then submit. You will win on the first try. The first hearing is called a non-adversarial hearing. It's only you and me and the judge.
Okay.
When you fail the first hearing, every hearing after that, every subsequent hearing is an adversarial hearing. That means the immigration department sends their own lawyer to fight everything I say for you.
Okay.
He fights against you. So it becomes twice as difficult after the first hearing to win. It becomes very difficult to win.
Okay. All right, so this is Milo TV, Toronto, Canada. Subscribe if today is your first time. We have Mr. Jacob, who happens to be a regulated Canadian immigration consultant. You've been helping a lot of Ghanaians.
Oh, a lot of Ghanaians.
Specifically, do you only help people from Africa since you were born back in South Africa, or it doesn't matter? Specify it for us, please.
My office is open to anybody from all parts of the world. It's only due to circumstance that I get a lot of people from Africa because I am from Africa.
Okay. Where in Africa?
South Africa, to be particular.
Which city? People are interested.
That's right. There are 2 or 3 big cities in South Africa: Durban, Cape Town, Johannesburg. I'm from Durban, but about 15 kilometers north of Durban, a little village.
Okay.
And because I grew up in a real village, a one-street village, I have, an understanding of what people want when they come from Africa. And that's why they feel comfortable when they come to me. Because I sit with them, I talk with them one-on-one. It's not like you are in a law office.
And do you take, what fee?
Oh, no. When you come to me, I do not. Please remember this. I do not take a fee for consultation for the first time. Even when you come to me the second or third time, I do not take consultation.
Wow, that's good. That's good.
The only time I take a fee is when you agree for me to take your case. I only take fees for the case, never for consultation, never if you call me, never if you email me, never if you WhatsApp me.
All right, so before we continue, can you bring out your phone number, your address, and your Gmail account so people could
Certainly.
sort of get in touch with you? It is very important.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So the name again is Yaqub Bayat. My company name is Bayat Immigration Consult Services. My address first. It's office number 203. The street is 450 The West Mall, and that is in Toronto, Ontario, M9C 1G8. My telephone number, which is also my WhatsApp number, is 416-878-6716. If you are calling from outside Canada, you have to add a 1-416-878-6716. And a very easy email is info at bayatimigration.com, or if you like, Baystar, BAYSTARCC @gmail.com. If that doesn't work for you, bayatimigration@gmail.com.
All right, so let's go back to the question. So I was asking if precisely you deal with people from Africa only.
Right. So it just so happens, as I mentioned before, due to circumstances, I have I would say the majority part of my dealings, about 60% are from Africa.
Okay.
I do have a fairly large, like I said, about 40% of people that make up clients from Asia,
Okay.
and some from the Middle East.
Okay.
But everybody is welcome.
All right. So you are welcome. It doesn't matter where you are from. As far as you get close to him, you will know the next level. All right, Mr. Jacob, so let's see something. Most our people came from back home, saying sort of, each and every person has a way of claiming or seeking his or her asylum. Some are, excuse me for this word, gays, lesbian, homosexual, and stuff. They are all in the system. People came with forced marriage. People came with female genital circumcision, a whole lot. So let me ask you this question. Do they sometimes send people back to Ghana? Because legally, the government has not approved that, excuse me, lesbianism, gay stuff, all those things should be allowed to be operated back home. So right now that they are here in Canada, how possible, or how, I mean, what sort of chances do they have to stay here as far as they are gays and lesbians?
Right. So Canada looks at any issue from the Canadian lens.
Okay.
For example, in Canada, if you are, let's say, choosing an alternative lifestyle, which means to be gay, to be lesbian, anything that's classed as LGBTQ, from a Canadian lens, it is okay and it is your right to live that lifestyle. It doesn't matter if your country has a different rule. If they oppress you for that, if they persecute you for that, Canada will look at you from the Canadian lens and say, listen, we allow it, so if your life is in danger because of that, they will allow you to stay if you can show that you have been having problems in Ghana because of that, or in any other country.
Okay.
After this little point, if you can remind me to go back to the political issue you asked in the beginning, there were some things I missed.
Okay, so is it like, okay, so like people pushing, there will be some sort of deportation, and Mr. Jacob, personally, I've been sitting behind my television watching what is going on in the States.
Right.
And since Donald Trump resumed office, or is officially not resumed yet, but he's coming in January, even though Joe Biden is still at post, but his post will sort of end this month, December.
Right.
Now, let's see something. Canada will also do, elections next year. Is it November? November 2025. I could see something. The opposition. Currently, the Liberal Prime Minister, Mr. Justin Pierre Trudeau, is in charge, and the opposition leader, Pierre Poilievre, is pushing, apportioning blames against Justin Pierre Trudeau. You've been allowing people to come to Canada. Excuse me to say ISIS, criminals, this, that. There was an Indian. He was doing DoorDash. He brought a food to somebody, opened it, and then spit in it. One Indian guy drives a car. All he does is that he will go to a bar shelter, stop, and then tell somebody, if a lady needs a ride, I'll give you a ride. Then he takes the person to the wrong position and do whatever he wants to do. One Indian guy wants to use a car to, ride on police car. Like, I've been hearing a lot. And even 3-4 days ago, an Indian has been stabbed to death in Canada. How come? Indian, Mr. Jacob? What is wrong?
So, first of all, let's handle the political issue.
Okay.
What has been happening is that because of the elections that are going to be held in Canada, the different parties are trying to jockey for a good position. They are all trying to gain votes. It is very sad that most of the time when elections take place in most countries, the people who are trying to stay in power and those who are trying to get into power, they always take the easiest route. They listen to people's complaints, and when the economy is bad, they blame everything on newcomers, on immigrants. There may be cases in the country where a new immigrant may be responsible for some crime, but those who wish to gain power use these incidents and blow it out of proportion most times. The newspapers are also guilty of this, and they use it to gain votes. It's an easy way to gain votes because the locals are fed up with the economy. They don't know who to blame. The government who was supposed to fix the economy, they make a mess of the economy. So instead of talking about the economy, instead of talking about all the things they didn't do, it is very easy to pick on newcomers. Newcomers are a soft target. So unfortunately, this is something most governments are guilty of, picking on a soft target, which is a newcomer.
Okay.
Now, put that aside. When we see instances of crimes being perpetrated by people who are newcomers, who are from countries, let's say from the East or from third world countries in general, it is very sad. First of all, when they do these crimes, it is very, very sad, and I will not make any excuses for them.
Okay.
Any person, whether Canadian by citizen or an immigrant who has no status here, if they commit a crime, they should be held accountable.
Okay.
That is something I would totally agree with.
Okay.
However, I think there is an easy way out for newspapers to sell more news,
Okay.
to get more readership, to just pick on newcomers who are committing crimes.
Okay.
But at the same time, the newcomers who are committing the crimes, it seems from the news that it is increasing in frequency.
Okay.
And this is because the government itself has dropped the ball. They loosened certain areas of immigration for certain countries only.
Okay.
And they have made it easy for people from those countries to come in. They turned a blind eye, and now we are paying for it. So it is sad, but it's a fact of life. And now they are trying to reverse it, and they are overreacting. And when they overreact, very often their reaction is against the wrong people. 2 weeks ago, the government unilaterally, without any warning, closed a whole immigration program called the Group 5 for 1 year.
Group 5.
The Group 5. This is a refugee group, people who are outside Canada, who are refugees. They are brought into the country in a program called Group 5. The government unilaterally closed that avenue
Okay.
because it's a low-hanging fruit. people who are in that group are mostly from third world countries, and they have no representation here, very little. They cannot oppose it, they cannot fight the government. So we lost that program. That program was not doing any, let's say, not causing problems in Canada. The programs that caused the problems in Canada were letting people in on fake letters of acceptance, fake English scores, people paying money, huge amounts of money to buy and sell LMIAs. These programs are causing a lot of harm to Canada, but the government doesn't seem to be doing anything about those programs. It seems that the government has some kind of a soft relationship with people who are abusing those categories.
Let me ask you this question. How do the Immigration Canada get to know criminal background checks? If, let's say, I'm in Africa, right, I want to come to Canada, how would they check if indeed I have a criminal record back home?
Right. So, Canada has a very strong working relationship with they call them the Five Eyes.
Okay.
America, Britain,
Australia,
New Zealand, and Canada make the Five Eyes.
Okay.
Their sharing of information is much more deep than with any other country.
Okay.
So if you had applied to one of those countries, if you had a problem with any one of those countries, rest assured, even 15, 20 years later, if you applied in Canada, they will know everything about it.
Okay.
Okay, so when you apply to Canada, if you have ever had dealings with those countries, make sure you mention it and explain what the problem was and why you had the problem. Of course, Canada has security relationships with most other countries in the world, and there's Interpol. Let's take one example in Africa, Kenya or Ghana.
Okay.
When Canada feels the need, if there is a need, if they query about an individual, I am almost certain that the Ghanaian and the Kenyan government will be willing to share information.
Oh, okay.
So if you have a criminal background back home, let's just say it was something that was not your fault, but you got in trouble, make sure that you mention it, because if you don't, it will be called misrepresentation and you will be banned from Canada for 5 years.
Wow.
Yeah. So they do checks. There are some exceptions, like when you apply for refugee in Canada, there are some restrictions in place to protect you. So Canada does not go to your country and ask for very deep checks on you about what happened to you, because it jeopardizes your life.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's something you should remember.
All right, so we have like 4 minutes to end our program. It's more or less like 40 minutes program. So if you have a question, go straight to the comment section and then ask me. Mr. Jacob, could you please bring out your phone number, your address? It is very important because we have a lot of guys from back home. They wanted to come to your doorstep so they could meet you up and sit down and do business.
So again, my name is Yakub Bayat. Bayat Immigration Services. If you Google Bayat Immigration Services, it will come up.
B-A-Y-A-T.
B-A-Y-A-T Immigration Services. I'm at 450 The West Mall in Toronto, Ontario. And my phone number is 416-878-6716. Anybody outside Canada, it's with a 416-878-6716. And I think the easiest email is bayatimmigration@gmail.com. B-A-Y-A-T immigration@gmail.com.
Do you sleep at all? I don't know, people from back home will be calling. Since we had this interview, I know a lot of people will be calling, sending messages.
Yes.
How do you cope with that?
Try your best to look at what time it is in Canada. You can call me anytime from 7 in the morning up till about 11 at night.
Okay. So,
my time.
Okay. They could call you at that time. And do you normally receive messages on WhatsApp?
I get a lot of messages on WhatsApp. Please give your name when you write to me, because a lot of people don't. and you can explain to me. Feel free to explain to me what your situation is, so that when you call, I have a good idea of what your issue is, and that will make it a lot easier, for us to be able to have a productive talk.
Before we go, I have a question, and this is outside the box.
Sure.
I saw a guy who killed someone.
Oh, you did?
And the person has a lawyer.
Right.
How come somebody killed either with gun, with knife, or anything, and that person could go hire a lawyer?
Yes.
Why?
Because the law in the country, the law of the land, allows you to explain yourself, and in a court you need somebody who can actually understand the law and the workings of the court. And even when you refuse to use a lawyer, the judge sometimes understands that you don't understand very well the danger you're in. They forcefully appoint a lawyer to represent you.
Wow.
Yes, they want you to have the best representation, and then if you are found guilty, well,
it doesn't matter, you have a lawyer. Wow. Like Puff Daddy right now, he's been having lawyers, trying his best for bail and stuff. They say no. Based on what he's been charged, they will not allow him to come out.
yeah, I think it just depends on the crime. Some crimes, the punishment is very, very tough. So
Okay, Mr. Yako, before you go, I would like to know something. We have a lot of people in Canada, from Ghana, from Nigeria, Togo, Ivory Coast, Benin, and other countries who are here. And these people, I would say, they are here with visa, and most of them, I would say, they are out of status. Some would say, I would say they came to go to school, but they couldn't attend the school based on something. So I don't know the advice you have for these people before we continue.
the best
Or before
advice,
we end the program.
yes, the best advice I can give you. Most of you I know are afraid. You don't know, you're not sure what can happen. The best advice is call me, come and see me. I am almost sure that I can assist you and make your situation better.
Okay.
But come and see me, because talking on the phone is very difficult.
Okay.
I don't know who I'm talking to.
Okay. Mostly people should call, book appointment, come to
and
your
see
office, sit down, and then one-on-one.
And be very frank when you talk to me. I'm working for you.
Okay.
I'm not working for the government. I'm not working for somebody else. I'm my own person. And when you come to me, I'm working for you.
Okay.
So be frank. Tell me what your problem is. Once you tell me, it stays with me.
Okay.
It doesn't go out.
Mr. Jacob, I came to Canada like a year or so. I didn't come to your office. I went to Kwame Boateng and Associates
Right.
Lawyers. And after like a couple of months, I got to realize if I should come to your office, I'll be good. Is it possible I could terminate my contract, or I could leave them and come see you or something?
Absolutely, the law allows it. There's a very simple one-page form. We fill that out, you sign it, you give instruction to immigration to transfer your files to me. It's as simple as that.
Okay. And with regards to the immigration issue, let's say somebody is coming from back home and the person had an issue at the airport. Is it possible if he or she calls you could come to the airport to rescue him or her?
Yes, they can. I mentioned this before. I'm quite busy. It's difficult for me to get to the airport. I can send somebody. I couldn't come myself most times.
Okay.
If I'm free, I might. But if you call me from the airport, I can help you to get into Canada. Secondly, before you leave Ghana, don't play games on your phone. Charge it full and make sure your battery doesn't die when you get to the airport.
Okay.
And I've had these cases where I actually got people out to come out of the airport and come into the city because they were stopped by immigration.
Wow.
Yeah. So call me if you have a problem, even if you're at the airport.
How many years of experience do you have in this job?
I started in 2018. That would make it, this is my 6th year. But that's the official business.
Okay.
Unofficially, I've been doing this in a charity. I run a charity for about 15 years.
Okay.
So I've been helping people all this while fill out forms and do things. But eventually, 6 years ago, I took it up as a full-time professional business.
Wow. And you've been winning your cases?
I've been winning all my cases. I have won, thanks to the Lord. The good Lord has been very kind to me. I've won every single asylum case that I've taken to court.
Thank you so much. I would like to ask, before we go, if I should come to your office, sit down with you, Mr. Jacob, this, that, and later on you sit down, you find out what this guy was saying or what he was telling me wasn't the truth, or he was lying to me. What would you do to that person? Would you still allow him, or you just tell him because of this, because of that, you've raised a red flag, I don't need you no more? Do you do that?
So I have to function within the law.
Okay.
There is a set of rules that governs my my profession.
Okay.
And one of the rules states very clearly that I shouldn't misrepresent any information and you shouldn't misrepresent any information. Okay. If I find out after the fact, once we are doing a case, that some of the things you told me aren't 100% kosher, it is my duty to advise you that we should correct that information.
Okay.
Yeah. So it is for you whether you want to, be totally honest. I will never know if you are not totally honest with me.
Okay.
Whatever you tell me, I take as gospel. I take it as the truth, and I repeat that information in my story. So there's no need for you to be afraid. When you come to me, tell me whatever it is, because if I know your situation, I can help you to remain within the law and still pass your case.
Mr. Jacob, some people normally come over to see you guys, and there are certain forms you give them to fill.
Yeah.
What is that?
Sometimes it makes it easier. I have to ask you so many questions. For example, what is your height? What is the eye color? What are your brothers' names? If I sat down with you, it may take hours and hours of my time to do that. And if I gave you that form and you sat at home, you could get a lot of help. If I asked you, when was somebody born, your little brother? When did somebody pass away? These are things you may not know, and it will cause a lot of delay. But if you sat at home with your family, worked all these things out, filled the form, and send it to me, it takes my secretary 10 minutes to fill the form, instead of me sitting with you 3 hours. And it becomes very difficult for me, actually, because then I find that my time is not productive. I cannot help somebody else.
Okay.
This way I help you, but in a much shorter time.
Okay, somebody came, I have this issue, I have that issue. Please, my lawyer, can you help write my story for me? Is it allowed that you should write someone's ad?
Yeah, this is actually totally not allowed. So when you come to me, have your story in your mind. Even if it is broken English, I will help you fix that. It's easy for me to help you with that.
Okay.
But have your story. Have your story, and if you need a translator, bring a translator with you, and we can get your story out. Sometimes people just need to be calm before they can tell you everything.
Okay. And you guys are not allowed to write somebody's...
We are not allowed to write a story.
It violates the rules.
It does. In fact, I will get in trouble.
Okay, for doing that.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's been nice talking to you. We are almost like 50 minutes. And I don't know what you have to tell our people. We've talked at length. We've had so many conversations, and if you have a question, go straight to the comment section. Mr. Jacob, let's end the program so our people will call to come to see you at your office, and you help them to get, their stay in Canada.
All right.
Yeah.
So this may be a little bit on the philosophical side, but I would say to you that please remember, because I know, especially Ghanaians, but most people that come to where I'm from, all of us, we have some relationship with the Lord. So I think before you come to see me, you should just remember that, you know, the good Lord has a plan for you.
Okay.
Come to me, just tell me your story. I am sure that there is something good in everything. Actually, there's good.
Okay.
Sometimes we don't see it. Come to me, talk to me, whatever your situation is. I can assure you one thing, is that I will do my best to help you resolve that issue. And most of the people who have come to me have left with a good feeling. I'm not sure if you can look up reviews, but you will find that I'm always able to assist you, whatever the issue is.
The government was complaining that there are some illegal immigration consultants and illegal immigration lawyers. How true is that?
This is a huge problem, a very, very big problem. What has happened over the years, and the government itself is to blame. They know these people are operating in the open. They will advertise themselves. If I do a service for $2,000, they will advertise the service at $199. You, as a normal person, will go to them because of the price. They will take your money. They are not governed. You cannot fine them. You cannot go back to them. And the way they will take the money, you won't be able to prove that you gave them money.
Okay.
And they will do nothing for you. They will actually make a big mess of your file. So these are con artists. You know yourself how many calls you get on your phone a day from scam calls, scammers.
Sure.
These are scammers. There are thousands of them. Unfortunately, they represent a very large portion of them are from one community. I really shouldn't mention it because it's too controversial. But to not fall into that trap, go to a registered consultant.
All right. Mr. Jacob, thank you for coming. Unless you have anything to tell us.
There was one last part after
Okay.
the PRRA.
Okay.
There were 3 steps. The last part, when you totally fail every step of the way, they allow you to do humanitarian and compassionate ground.
Okay.
Where you've been in Canada already for 5 years and you plead to the government that, you know, I have nothing else left to go to in Ghana. I've been here 5 years, or to any other country to go back home. And if the officer who reads your file feels that your story is very compelling, he will allow you to stay and get PR.
Okay. We've come to the end of the program, Mr. Jacob.
Yes, sir.
9 is coming.
Thank you. It's always a pleasure to talk to all of you, and Milo does a fantastic job.
Sure.
I hope you guys watch his channel, and if you haven't subscribed, please hit that button and subscribe.
So yeah, this is one of the best interviews I've ever had. So if you have anything to say, go watch this video afterwards, pick his phone number, call him, book an appointment, go sit down with him and talk to him. He will help you to win your case, to have a stay in Canada. Milo TV, bada bim, bada boom, bada bam. Yeah, can you say that?
Milo TV, bada bing, bada boom, bada bang.
Yeah.
Salanigat.
Okay. TV Toronto, Canada. Subscribe if today is your first time. Like my videos, comment, and then share. Bada bim, bada boom, bada bam.